What's up, everybody? It's a Grand Line Gazette. We talk about One Piece damn near every damn day. The paw paw fruit. Fruit that turns you to a paw palm human. You got powers over transportation, powers over afflictions and damage. They're mini like atom bombs. They're memory cores.
Yep.
Straight up memory sticks.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you remember that from the old PS2 days?
Yeah. No, don't turn it off. I can't
Wait, don't
save
turn it
right
off, don't
now.
turn it off. Or it didn't work, so you had to like blow in the cartridge. You're like, come on, man, please.
Please.
I got like 10 hours on this. But we're going to talk about it. One Piece. We talk about it a lot. This is our Devil Fruit series, the Paw Paw Fruit. That's Kev, I'm Corey, and as always, Kev, what's the Paw Paw Fruit? What are we talking about today?
So it's the Nikyu no Mi. It's a paramecia type devil fruit that grants the ability to repel anything via the paws permanently, and then can manifest on and then it can also manifest the paws on the user's palm. Now we've seen this quite a few different ways. We've seen him use it as far as a transportation device where he can send straw hats or even somebody like himself hurling at great distances. But it appears that he has to know where it is, really. Um, and the other effect that I've seen be used is like where Kuma is pushing pain and fatigue out of somebody in the recent episode, like the farmers or the elderly in the village. And then there is an important piece to it though, is that it has to go somewhere. So if you just leave it floating, it will go back to the original user
That is
or the
something
original owner.
that's,
Yeah.
I guess you could assume from his power set back when we saw him in Thriller Bark, but he finally said that during his flashback. And that's the thing about One
Yeah.
Piece is they don't tell you how the power works. Sometimes
No.
you'll know how the power works, but sometimes you're just like, I think I get it, and and because it's not about the powers, it's about what's going on, and these people just have powers. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is definitely something. Like, if it's like, I don't know how long it is. Let's say it's 2 days, and nobody absorbs that pain bubble. All those people
Sure.
are getting all that pain back at once, and these are like elderly people. They can't handle that.
They're probably back at work, dog. Like this. Remember, this is on Sunday, so this shit's like if you give it 40 hours, this motherfucker gonna be in the middle of a shift on Tuesday, and just his back just shatters.
The worst day too, Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah. It's just Monday part two. That's crazy. But like, I also have other questions. Like you said, we may never know, but he can also hold his memories, not just pain and suffering, but just core memories. He was able to hold childhood memories in the Vegapunk lab where Bonnie was able to come across it later on. So it's very interesting. I wonder if we could also see.
Maybe it's something that's linked with strong emotion, or something that evokes a
Yeah,
strong
yeah.
emotion, like the pain does or the memories do.
And then, like, if the person is no longer around to take those memories back, I wonder if they just sit there. We may come across future or past users that have like
Damn, what
past
is this,
memories.
lock and key?
Yeah,
Dodge taking
yeah.
out memories and shit. Okay.
I think it's right there.
It also has
Um,
like hand to hand capabilities where it's like it's kind of like a perfect defense, but it's like, is that the pause being used to repel attacks, or is that hockey being used to repel attacks? Because he's using the same way that Sentamaru would block attacks. But and I'm talking about his fight on Thriller Bark after all the havoc and stuff like that
yeah.
when he's fighting the Straw Hats. But I don't know. He could
So
have the
let's
perfect
talk
defense
about
with that too.
on uses. We have the pad ho, which is just basically the punch. You have like a Gatling gun, like he uses with like Luffy uses, but with his paws. The one of the main ones that we've seen though, as One Piece fans, is the Ursa shot. Um, it's where he kind of like condenses it really hard and then just lets it out. It seems to be one of the more devastating attacks out there. I
Yeah, I
wonder.
don't understand where the mass destruction of compressed like hockey. I guess it's got to be hockey. It's got to be his devil fruit mixed with hockey,
Exactly.
because it's like, bro, you're absorbing people's pain, and that's a red bubble. But these are your clear bubbles. So what are these powered with? So maybe that's just his paw energy. But I think these are hockey palms, hype like made tangible by the paw fruit, because we can see the outline. But I wonder if that's for our benefit and not theirs. But I think they also see the bubble, because they be getting freaked out by the bubbles. So they definitely see the bubbles. Um,
And I don't want to, and let's not overcompensate, or overcompensate might not be the word right phrase, but I think this is a perfect match with Kuma and the fruit. And I say this for the sole reason is Kuma is a buccaneer. If you have just a willy-nilly human, they may not be able to take on as much pain or suffering as Kuma can. So when we look at previous users, you may, see a weakling holding on to this where they can only take a few paper cuts, for example, instead of.
but I mean, you're giving these other. I mean, that's the thing. You're giving these other people using this devil fruit Kuma's personality. Who's to say
Sure.
they even give it? Hey, I'll just give this to somebody else. I only use this on my girl when she feeling bad, and I give that to some other
Yeah.
random on the bus. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
I always thought like mid-fight, we just all huddle around Kuma. He takes all of our pain away and just goes shoves it in the enemy real quick. Like that could easily be like a Trojan horse. I didn't know this, but apparently there was like a Menicius book that you can see on the wiki about the Nikyu no me, but there's a passage that says, I like fish and I also like bear paws. If I cannot have the two together, I will let the fish go and take the bear's paws. I like life and I like righteousness. If I cannot keep them two together, I will let life go and choose righteousness. So this is a Confucius book that I didn't know about until I saw the wiki on this. But that is interesting. I wonder if Oda
no, that is
took
one
inspiration from
hundred
that.
percent Kuma to a T. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
hey, if I
and the
gotta,
fish.
yeah.
That's Kaido. Like that's.
Well, I
Go
saw
ahead.
more
Sorry.
of it like well, yeah. I mean, it could be translated to that too. Like, I wasn't even looking at it that way, but I was
Oh,
looking
okay.
at it more of like, you could catch something, and then it's like, well, are you gonna risk your own ability for your own gain, or like, are you gonna risk yourself for your own gain? Like, no, I'll let it go so I can keep my hands. You know what I mean? And he is kind of
Mm-hmm.
like that person. Like, he will risk other people's suffering, or he will risk his own suffering for other people. You know what I mean? Like, if there's
Yeah.
something that he wants, but it would get in the way of somebody else's happiness, he would probably hold against that just for the sake of the other person. Um, that's a crazy quote. Never heard that Confucius quote, and that sounds like Kuma.
Yeah.
Um,
It also must be have a great lineage and a great history. It was also one of the six treasures on God Valley. So the Nikyu no Mi must be very important to the people of or not God Valley, but the Gorosei and the Celestial Dragons. So I wonder if it has like a previous user that we know of.
and I'm finding out that Ursa Shock is actually just compressed air. So I don't know how much
Hell
air
yeah.
they actually get compressed into those giant bubbles to turn them into
Mm-hmm.
like small little bombs, but that makes sense. That is 100% just like a small bomb that you're throwing out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
But what do you
as
guys?
far
I
as
mean,
like
what
the
do you
abilities,
guys really think?
yeah,
Go
which
ahead.
one's your favorite ability? We didn't really talk about his teleportation. His not teleportation. It was the transportation one.
Transportation.
He can send people back to where he's been, where his memories are. There's a big memory thing, emotion thing going on with his devil fruit. So it's got to be linked to something like that. I wonder if we're going to hear more about it.
Yeah, and then I mean, we come to find out that he's been most of the places that he sent the uh, Luffy, the Straw Hat Pirates during
Well,
the time
he
skip
can
and
only
everything.
send people. That's my point. He can only
Yeah,
send people to places he's been, and so
yeah. but when you're watching it for the first time, you don't realize that until like much later. And that hats off to Oda because that always hyped me up. I'm
Yeah,
like, holy shit, that motherfucker been here. That's crazy.
yeah, but it does have that ability. I wonder how that ability stems from because his abilities do seem scattered with the pawpaw fruit, but I don't think they're as scattered as we think, as they seem to appear. Let us know in the comments below how you guys think it's all connected. I think it's emotional based. Anything that elicits a strong emotion, whether it's a memory, a place, a feeling, that can all be concentrated. And then just by itself, air can be concentrated, which isn't really nothing.
Yeah.
It's just its own side ability. But I don't know. You guys let us know what you think in the comments below. As always, we will be back next week with another devil fruit. You guys get to pick which devil fruits we choose. So I guess you guys choose for us. Let us know in the comments below what devil fruit you want us to do next. We're out.
Peace.